Hi, so you're ready to answer the question how to choose your GMAT test date. In this video, I'm going to simplify the process of answering this all important question. So let's dive in. First, you need four crucial pieces of information. Number one, your application deadlines. Two, your target GMAT score. Three, your starting or current ability. And four, your GMAT prep time. Let's now dive into each of these one by one, understand precisely what they mean, and figure out how to get this information. First, your application deadline. As the name itself suggests, this is the date by which you need to submit your application form to a particular B school. This means you need to first finish shortlisting B schools. Now, applying to a B school is by no measure easy on the pockets. But at the same time, you're not going to put all your eggs in one basket. This is why typically students apply to anywhere between 2 to 5, sometimes even 7 B schools. Now, once you have the bouquet of B schools that you're ready to apply to, you need to identify the school with the earliest application deadline. Let's understand this with an example. Now, let's say the dream B school that you would like to apply to is the Wharton School of Business. Now, let's quickly take a look at how to find out what the application deadline of Wharton is. So let's go to Google and type in Wharton application deadline. Now, the very first link itself here says Wharton MBA application timeline and deadlines at the University of Pennsylvania. So this is the link we're looking for. Let's open it up and see what we get. So we are at the Wharton MBA program page. And if you scroll down, you can see the Wharton MBA application deadlines for 2023-2024. In other words, these are last year's application deadlines, round 1, round 2, round 3, and deferred admissions rounds. Now, the inference here is that this year's application deadlines have not yet been released by Wharton, right? Now, this typically happens somewhere around mid or end May, sometimes even first week of June. But for the sake of this video, let's proceed under the assumption that this year's deadlines will be the same as last year's deadline. So that means if you're applying in round 1 at Wharton, then September 6th, 2024 is the deadline that you are looking at. Now, it is important to mention here that most international students apply in round 1. They do so in order to maximize their chances at getting a scholarship. But then if things don't go as planned, then there is always the fallback option of the round 2 deadline. But I'm going to try to help you identify what your GMAT test date should be, targeting round 1 deadlines. So there you have it. We have the answer to the first question. September 6th is the application deadline. We're assuming that Wharton's deadline is the earliest of all the other B schools that we are targeting, right? Now, let's go to the second piece of information, your target GMAT score. So let's go back quickly to Google, and this time let's search for Wharton average GMAT score. And right here at the top, you can see 728, but let's look for the university website link. So there you have it, Wharton MBA class profile and acceptance rate at the University of Pennsylvania. So this is the link we're looking for. Click on it. And right here we have the class profile, right? We have the statistics in terms of the demographic, the race and ethnicity breakup. We even have information about the average work experience and previous work experience. And right here, we have the test scores. As you can see, the average GMAT score is 728. Or rather, I should say, was 728. This is last year's data. So an important inference to draw here is that this 728 is as per the GMAT Classic Edition, right? Now, since you're applying this year, you need to translate 728 into its corresponding GMAT Focus Edition score. Okay, so let's quickly now open up the score concordance table. So let's type that in. Okay, we have it here. And let's use the GMAT table because this puts the scores side by side. So we are looking at 728, which is almost a 730, right? So this means that our target score would be, or at least the average GMAT score at Wharton, if not our target, at least the average GMAT score at Wharton is 675 as per the GMAT Focus Edition. In terms of percentile, this is the 95th percentile. But there's an important thing to note here. If you're someone who wants to really maximize your chances of getting into Wharton and maybe even have a shot at a scholarship, then always aim for 20 to 30 points higher than the average score or the mean score at that particular B school. So if we go up 20 to 30 points above 730, we are looking at 760, which translates to the 99th percentile or a 715 on the GMAT Focus Edition. So that is going to be the target score for the sake of this particular video presentation. So here we have it. Your target GMAT score is a 715 or the 99th percentile. Now let's move to the third piece of information, your current starting ability. Now, in order to calculate your starting ability, you need to write a mock exam, which gives you a fair assessment of your current ability vis-a-vis the GMAT examination. Now, for this, we recommend our first free Sigma X mock. Right now, we have given you the link right here in this article itself, titled GMAT Exam Dates 2024-25. Now, if you scroll down here, you're going to see a link to take a free mock. Clicking on this will redirect you to the landing page on our website for our Sigma X GMAT Focus mocks. The mock is equipped with an enhanced score report, which will give you a clear picture of your abilities, your strengths, and your weaknesses down to the subsectional level in every section that is tested on the examination. So let's assume you've written mock 1 and you scored a 565, which is equivalent to the 52nd percentile on the GMAT. Now, this is the typical starting ability of most GMAT aspirants. Most students score around the 50th percentile ability when they start off their preparation. And now we have a typical journey of 50th percentile to the 99th percentile. This leaves us with the last piece of information, that is calculating the time it would take you to prepare in order to go from the 50th percentile to the 99th percentile on the GMAT. Now, for this, yet again, we have another tool provided to you in the very same article. We have put together a small quiz in which you need to plug in your starting score, right, your current ability, your target score, and also the amount of time you can devote to your studies in order to come up with a fairly accurate estimate of your GMAT prep time. Let's go ahead and launch this quiz. So we are at a 565, right? And you're targeting a 715. Now let's say you're able to put in around 25 hours per week of prep. This tool automatically calculates your prep time as 10.5 weeks or 2.63 months. Give or take, this is somewhere around 2.5 months of prep time to take you from a 565 to a 715. Now that we have all 4 pieces of information, we are ready to answer the question how to choose your GMAT test date. Now, in order to answer this question, we are going to backtrack from your application deadline. Now, we have already understood that our earliest deadline is the 6th of September this year. But in order to submit your application, in addition to a good GMAT score, you're going to need certain supporting documents such as your letters of recommendation, a well-drafted resume, and your application essays. Multiply this with the number of B schools that you're going to apply to, and you will need close to or up to a month to prepare your application kit, right? So this means the latest by which you can write the GMAT is the 6th of August. Now you must be wondering, hey, why can't I prepare for the GMAT and do my application simultaneously, buying me more time to prepare and write the GMAT at a later date? Well, although this is possible, it is not recommended. That's because it is usually very difficult to multitask. It is usually very difficult to take out time for both studies and for filling of application forms. And the output usually is lackluster on both fronts. Right, so for this reason, we recommend that you get done with your GMAT prep and only then proceed to filling up your application forms. Next, moving forward, there is another important thing we need to factor into our plan, and that is the possibility of a retake of the GMAT. Yes, sometimes things do not go as planned. There is this possibility that we do not hit our target score on the very first attempt. What do we do in such an event? We must always keep aside a buffer in order to retake the examination. Now, as you know, there is a minimum requirement of 16 days before you can book your next attempt at the GMAT. So this means that you will have at least 2 weeks to prepare for a retake. Therefore, it is advisable to set aside 2 to 3 weeks for a retake. This is more than enough time to revise your concepts and refine your skills so that you make those marginal gains at the subsectional levels in order to get to your target score. Once we factored this into our plan, we see that we should write the GMAT somewhere around mid-July, that is around the 15th. This would give us enough time, let's say 2 to 3 weeks before the 6th of August to retake the examination if need be. Now, the last piece of information that we need to factor into this is our preparation time. Now, we just saw at a starting ability of 565, it would take us roughly 2.5 months to get to our target score. And therefore, the right time to start preparing for the GMAT in such a scenario would be in the first week of May. So this is how we backtrack and arrive at the start date of our preparation and the date, the tentative date that we need to write the GMAT, by first figuring out the B schools we're applying to, their application deadlines, and then working backwards by factoring things like application time, retake time, and prep time for the GMAT. Now, in all of this, there are 3 basic assumptions that we have made. These assumptions work as variables in this equation we have formulated. The very first assumption is your starting ability. For the sake of the example we just discussed, I took your starting ability to be 565. Now note, if your starting ability happens to be lower than this, then you would require more than 2.5 months to prepare for the examination. Similarly, if your starting ability is higher than 565, you would require less than 2.5 months to get to your target ability. Second, your weekly study time commitment. We assumed that you would put in 25 hours per week. But if you're able to put in 30, you might be done in 2 months. If you're able to put in less, let's say 20 hours a week, you might need 3 months. The third assumption is whether you'll need a retake at all. Remember, there's always the possibility of hitting your target score in the very first attempt. This would depend on the kind of resources you use for your preparation. If you manage to achieve this in the first attempt itself, you will get an additional 2 to 3 weeks to apply to your application phase. So there you have it. This was the recipe for answering the question, how to choose your test date. I hope you found this information useful. Happy learning.